Hello, I am Jen Johnson, Realtor with Remax Rising in Bloomington, Illinois, and I am working on putting together a series of podcasts, video, audio that the consumer can use and utilize to get information for any kind of real estate interest or needs. And I'm doing a different one with different vendors just to get information to the consumer because I feel it's very, very important. Um, the biggest key to me is about advocacy, and I've been in this business for at least 4 years, and before that, more of a civil servant thing where you do have to still speak up and
True.
advocate for people.
True.
Right? So, my biggest point when I work with clients in real estate is, well, if you broke your arm, you're not gonna put some paint sticks on it and tape it up and go about your day. You're not gonna try and fix it yourself.
True. I hope
Some
not.
people might in the mountains, I don't know. But I'm not. So
I'm not
if
either.
I don't know or have the answer, I'm not gonna act like I do. I'm going to hire a professional to handle it. Today I have Amanda Willette Attorney at Law, and she has been in the business of real estate.
Probably about 10 years. I've been an attorney for a little bit longer than that.
Yes, a
few,
little
a few
bit.
more
You
years.
don't want to say?
No, we don't need to age me.
Okay.
But yes, real estate full time for 10 years.
All right.
Prior
And
to that, I was a divorce attorney.
okay, so you're just well versed, and you've been in this community how
Mhm.
long now?
I actually went to undergrad here at Illinois Wesleyan. And so that was, I'm not going to say she keeps trying to make me age myself. That was a few years ago.
Yeah.
A few.
Yesterday?
Double digits ago. And so I went to college at Illinois Wesleyan and then left for law school and then came back. So I've been back in Bloomington Normal for, I think, like 13 to 15 years.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, it's a good community.
And you know very much about real estate, Illinois law, because it's very different from, I mean, even county to county in Illinois, right?
Absolutely. The law isn't necessarily different, but the way it's practiced is different. So, especially with real estate, different counties use different contracts.
Mm-hmm.
So, you really need to have an attorney and a real estate agent that are familiar with that county.
Yes, absolutely. And I will say, I appreciate being able to work with someone who is amazing and takes care of our clients and is always able to be reached anytime I have a question.
Thank you.
Communication is huge.
It is huge because real estate happens at all hours.
It does.
All days. If it's a Sunday and you have an emergency,
Yep.
You do need to be able to get a hold of the people involved. So,
and I appreciate that. I've always heard good feedback with everybody that's worked with you as well.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So thank you for letting me.
She wasn't paid to say that.
Busy. No, I'm not getting any gratuities, except for maybe smiles and hugs.
Smiles and hugs for sure.
So, what I like to cover on these podcast Q&As is a couple of stories, and like the biggest reason you want to use an attorney in a real estate transaction. I've had it a couple of ways, less not using versus using an attorney. Thankfully, most people, take the recommendation.
Yeah.
And it's worth every penny for a small fee. So, what, if anything, can you give for just immediate guidance if somebody is considering whether to use an attorney or not in a real estate transaction? Why do you feel it is the utmost importance probably to do it right off the get-go?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so important because that example that you gave in the beginning is perfect. You wouldn't, unless you're a trained medical professional, you wouldn't treat yourself for an injury. You might go online and look, because we all do.
Yeah.
We all self-diagnose.
Dr. Google.
Exactly. Dr. Google,
Right.
WebMD, whatever, we all do that. But they're not the experts. So you go down that route, and a simple headache has now turned into something catastrophic because you diagnosed yourself.
Yep.
With real estate, you as an agent have your own role. I have my own role, and you can't dabble in the actual legal part of it. You can. You don't want to. Well, I mean, square footage wouldn't be something I want to do. So, but it's something that there's only things that attorneys can do.
Mm-hmm. Like what?
Like the attorney review paragraph.
Okay.
So
what is that?
In the contract, there is an attorney review paragraph. and it allows an attorney within 3 business days, if we're using the contracts customarily used in our county here, 3 days to review the contract, and we can reject the contract, we can approve it, and we can propose modifications.
Okay.
You as an agent from the contract language can't do those things. So let's say you have a client who, we saw this during the pandemic. We saw some pretty unfortunate things happen with people losing their jobs.
Yeah.
You know, if something happens in those 3 days, I can reject the contract. We don't want to do that, of course. But it's meant to protect people in case something happens.
Yeah, the clients.
Clients, exactly.
You listen to the client and
It's all about the clients.
Follow their wishes.
Exactly.
And you give them advice all along the way.
Correct. That's something that we're doing the whole time. So as a real estate attorney, I'm able to give my input on everything that I've seen through my practice and experience. And I'm able to be a different set of eyes.
Yeah.
And so I'm able to say, like, I hear you and I see your perspective, but I'm also able to say, so here's the seller's perspective, and here's the legal perspective, and here's the real world perspective.
Yeah.
And the solution is somewhere typically in between all of those perspectives.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, you are able to really try to intervene if there's an issue that comes up between a buyer and a seller in a transaction. Me as their agent, I mean, I can only do so much, but then there could be legal ramifications after the fact, like say inspection issues come up.
That's a big one.
Yeah, that one happens a lot.
Lots of inspection issues. I would say as an attorney, I probably spend 50 to 60% of my time reviewing inspection requests, helping people negotiate inspection requests, helping with navigating all these reports that you receive. Because as a buyer, especially if you haven't done it a lot, you get these home, you see them. Yeah. These home inspection reports that are 170 pages long, sometimes. And the inspector's job is to point everything out. But you as a buyer loved this house. This was your dream house. We're ready to cook, like make cookies, move in, have everything. And you get this report and you're like, this house is a lemon. Yeah. It's not, it's typically not. Sometimes they are, but it's navigating, going through this with side by side with the agent, because you and I do this together all the time.
A lot, yes.
And you're able to talk to the client, and then I'm able to talk to the client, and you're able to say, well, here's what I think this might cost to fix through my experience. And then I'm able to say, well, under the contract, they don't have to fix this. Yeah. Or they do have to fix that. Right. So we spend a lot of time on inspections.
We do. And I do try as their agent working with them to go over those things before the inspection even happens. Like realistically, what we can look at, whether you can ask for things or what you can't ask for per the contract.
Always per the contract.
And sometimes, you know, us agents are able to work things out amongst ourselves, which is great. Because then it's less headache on your end, and for the buyer, you know, you don't want to cause a lot of grief in a transaction. I try to make it as easy and seamless as possible.
Yeah, it's really important. What I found in all these transactions and these years of doing this is that, you know, this is the most money somebody's probably ever going to spend in their life. And so things can get heated. I mean, money and, you know, stress go hand in hand. A lot of times it is, you know, it's unfortunate, but it does happen. And you're spending a lot of money, and so you want the house that you thought you were getting. And so there's a lot of emotions attached with it. So one of the things that I'm able to do, and I believe some of these skills I got from being a divorce attorney. Oh, yeah. I think that that's come in really handy, is I'm able to, you know, talk to people about not just, and I'm able to get behind, like, what is the emotion behind it too? Yeah. Because sometimes it's not really about the missing brick. Right. Sometimes it's about more.
It becomes more personal during the transaction. Yeah. And it shouldn't. Yeah. But I understand. Yeah. I do, being through it myself.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely understand it. And so, like, having multiple people to advocate for you.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's not just you and I. Then there's a lender. The home inspector is part of the team. Like, everyone's part of the team.
So it's very important to work with people that you know, have good relationships and connections, because it's like raising a family. It takes a village.
It does take a village.
It takes a village to buy a house.
Yeah, and I think one of the things is that you as the agent, for example, you can make recommendations.
Right.
And we all have a relative that does something. So I'm going to pick on a relative.
Yeah.
But you'll have a buyer, hypothetical buyer, who's like, my uncle is going to represent me, and my uncle is a workers' compensation attorney in Chicago.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with using your uncle, right? It's family.
No.
You're probably getting the family discount. You want to.
Yeah.
But it makes a difference who you work with, I think, like using local people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, people who know how things work here, the customs, the practices, the contracts that we use.
Yes.
Especially
100%. Because you could probably, I would guarantee you could probably recite any paragraph if I pulled the contract out.
well, let's
just
not do a
blindly
quiz. Let's
I-
not do a quiz.
I'm confident that you know what you're doing though. So that's why I guess loyalty. Stay loyal.
I think that that's important too. The relationships that you form in life, in real estate and things like that, they matter. And the better relationship you have with people, sometimes the further you get.
Oh, 100%.
So sometimes you do have an out of county agent come in, or an out of county lender, or out of county attorney,
Mm-hmm.
and it heightens the stress.
Yeah.
It
It causes a few hiccups.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got this NAR consumer guide working with a real estate attorney, and I love that it's got some bullet points on here and information from them as the NAR to the consumer.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to bring this and share it and see what you thought about the material here and what it says or how you feel about it. If you've got any input on some of this. We've talked about, do I need a real estate attorney? Personal? Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think you do. I think I understand that some people are like, I don't want to spend the additional cost for it. But I will tell you that locally here in
Mhm.
Bloomington Normal, the majority of the attorneys who only do real estate charge a flat fee.
Yes.
You don't pay it in advance.
No.
You pay it at the closing table.
Right.
So as a buyer, it's wrapped into your closing costs.
Yep.
And as a seller, it comes out of your proceeds.
Yeah.
Some people choose not to have an attorney. There's no law that says you have to have an attorney.
Right.
But I will say that often what happens is issues arise during the transaction, or could, not
Mhm.
always.
Right.
Some real
Usually they
estate just
do.
goes off, some things just, you go under contract, you close, there's no issues. It does happen.
Yes. It's just a little more rare.
It's a lot more rare, but getting that team involved in the beginning.
Yes. Because it's easier for you as an attorney to represent somebody from the beginning
Mhm.
of the transaction so that you're in tune with everything that's going on
Yeah.
instead of trying to like jump in double dutch and you've got 3 ropes going at
Yeah.
you and you don't know what's going on. And then you have to take all that time to catch up.
Yeah, which we'll do, of course, if
Yes.
we can.
Yes.
There's certain times of the year that it becomes more difficult to do that, like in our notorious busy season. So in the summer, but other things arise. So like we have someone closing this week who decided not to use an attorney, but they had a family member get sick, and so they need a power of attorney now.
Oh.
But they don't have an attorney that they can just say, "Hey, can I just give you power of attorney now?" So it's a lot more hassle
Yeah.
for them to figure out now, while they're also processing and dealing with a family member being ill and trying to get to see them. So like you already have the attorney on board, right? And something happens to you. I'm
Yeah.
just picking on you because you're here.
That's okay. I'll take it.
And you're like, so and so got ill. I need to drive to Ohio tomorrow. I'm not going to be able to be at the closing. And I go, and you're the seller. And I go, okay, run into my office. Let's sign a power of attorney. You go be with your family.
Yes.
Because I'm already representing. So I'm able to act as your power of attorney.
Okay.
once you
power
sign
of
something.
attorney, can you explain that?
Yeah, absolutely. There's different types of powers of attorney.
Yeah.
We just use a limited power of attorney just for the real estate transaction. And on a seller's side, you execute it and it gives me the power to sign your closing documents for you.
Wonderful. So the sale can happen without me being even in the
Mhm.
same town.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Or even the same state sometimes.
Oh, absolutely, with a seller. Now with a buyer, we have to check if there's a lender involved with the lender.
Yes.
The regulations, and I'm sure, a lender could give you more information on the exact regulations, but
Yeah.
they've tightened up. So in the past, back in the old days when I started, the olden days, I mean, you didn't want to come to closing as a buyer. They were like, get a power of attorney, that's fine. They've tightened up the regulations. You have to show typically for cause,
Yes.
a hardship.
Right.
But with technology, there's also ways to sign like
Digital.
mobile notaries now.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Someday it's just going to be probably mostly mobile.
Oh my gosh.
So
I
you
can't
can
even
just
imagine.
you can sit on your couch and buy a house, maybe.
I mean,
Maybe.
probably. I don't know if I'd want to do that though. You went through the services a little bit already just because you talked about how you advocate, you go through the file, you work
Yeah.
on inspections and any hiccups. What about deadlines?
Oh, deadlines are deadlines. I mean, they have to be paid attention to.
Yeah.
One of the big things to know with those deadlines is people are always saying, well, we'll just ask for an extension.
Mhm.
You can ask for an extension, but it doesn't mean they're going to grant it to you.
Right.
And it's very important that you keep track of those deadlines. So for a buyer, you have deadlines for your inspections,
Yep.
for your financing, for your appraisal. And if you don't have the information back from your lender, we have to ask for an extension to make sure you're still protected if something happens.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that if the appraisal comes back low, for example, you can still get out of the contract if you need to.
Yeah.
And get your earnest money back. Because
Oh.
once that deadline has passed,
It's too late.
it's too late.
And I can't do that for them necessarily just as their real estate agent without an attorney.
You
It's a lot
can.
harder.
Yeah, it depends, right? You know that. So it depends, like, as far as we've experienced this together, is that sometimes people give more weight to things coming from the attorney.
Yeah, exactly. You
And
read
so
my mind.
I thought that's where you were going. It's not that you can't ask for an extension, you can.
Yeah.
But sometimes, some agents are just like, nope, we won't
too
do
bad.
it. And then you call me and I contact the other attorney and now we have the extension.
Yeah.
It doesn't always work that way.
No,
not a
always.
miracle worker, but sometimes because it's like, okay, well, you're the agent and the attorney has this weight.
Yes. And it's amazing. I don't like doing it without. So,
Well, yeah, which one do you like next?
real estate attorneys help negotiate the price of a home. I've had people not want to use like an agent
Mm-hmm.
and they just have their uncle, no joke, use an uncle to purchase like a for sale by owner or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we do obviously, like, my office handles for sale by owners.
Yep.
One of the things I do, because I advocate for the other people in our industry and because I know the value of what you do, is the first thing I do is I suggest an agent.
Yeah.
And I explain to somebody who's doing for sale by owner, like, the things that the attorney doesn't do, because those would be your rules.
Yeah.
Like determining the price of a home.
Right. Market value.
Correct. I'm not going to tell you what the square footage is. I'm not going to keep track of the deadlines. I specify that in there. I can't keep track of your deadlines. I don't order the inspections.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have, I mean, of course I have contacts, but that is not my role.
Right.
And so I don't typically help negotiate the price. There's always a one-off where somebody's like, can you send this offer? And of course I do.
Yeah.
But typically the agent does all of that.
Right.
I feel like there was, speaking of NAR,
Yeah.
there was the lawsuit that everybody knows about.
A lot of people don't though. A lot of
Yeah.
people don't know about the lawsuit. It came up because, I just blatantly say because people were not being completely transparent and honest about how things work and how they should operate in the industry.
Yeah.
Basically.
I feel like, we do not need to go into the nitty-gritty of the
No.
lawsuit.
Another day.
But I feel like, in my opinion, being in the real estate industry, some of the media was portraying this different than what it was.
Oh yeah.
And so I will have people call me and they're buyers and they're like, I don't want to use an agent because I have to pay for it now. That's not, yes, like, it's always been an option. A seller can always choose to offer the buyer's agent money or not, or,
Right,
commission.
pay fees.
But personally, what I'm still seeing is, I would say at least 90% of transactions, the sellers are still paying for the buyers. So when people are saying, I don't want to use an agent because I don't want to have to pay for it, a buyer saying this, I'm like, you're probably not going to have to pay for it.
Yeah.
So I think some of it is just the education of this.
%.
Which is why you're doing the podcast.
Yes. Yep. It's almost like a giant buyer consult.
That's a good idea.
Buyer consult series,
Yeah.
I just want to get the information out there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, are experienced. They've purchased houses before,
Mhm.
and I'll hear that from them, but it changes.
Oh,
So
all the time.
I think from the time that I started real estate back in the olden days, there's been at least 5 or 6 versions of the contracts.
Yeah, it's
So
like ever changing and
always,
evolving, which is,
exactly.
I mean, it's for the better,
Right.
right? For the consumer.
Yeah.
More information, just in the last 4 years that I've been doing this,
Mm-hmm.
more information getting put into the contract so that it's a little more explained.
Right. A little bit more comprehensive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Absolutely.
So, can a real estate attorney help protect me from disputes?
Hmm. Well, I think yes, I think we can try to help you I can't talk right now.
No, you're good.
It's like I was doing
Disputes.
so good.
What's a dispute in real estate?
I'm
It'd be
like,
like the inspection going awry.
yeah,
Like the buyer wants something, the seller doesn't want to give it up, trying to meet in the middle.
yeah, we can definitely help you with that. And I think one of the things that I try to do, that you try to do as an agent, is we try to see 5 steps ahead of where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
I know that that's what I do. And so that just comes with experience, and you continue to get experience as a real estate agent, as a real estate attorney. It's never the same.
Yeah.
Things constantly change, things come in trends. Again, we just said the contract changes. And so we're trying to forward think. So
Mhm.
you're already alerting me if you're the buyer's agent and you've
Right.
had an inspection and you know that the inspector has called out the roof as an issue.
Mm-hmm.
You already know, and you've alerted me that it could be a problem. And
Yeah.
you and I both know we're going to have another inspection.
Yeah.
And then you have looked at the weather and you're like, oh goodness, it's going to snow for the next 2 weeks. And so part of what our job is forward thinking
Mm-hmm.
and being able to already know what things could be issues before they come up.
Yep. Improvise, adapt, and overcome.
I like that phrase.
Really, I say it all the time. I've said it for years. I feel
I
like
do like that.
you just really have to be able to roll with it and
You
kind of
do.
plan and prepare for anything that comes up.
And sometimes you can't plan. I mean, just with
Oh,
with
yeah.
life. You and I have had our own share of, transactions that
Yeah.
had its twists and turns at the end.
Mhm.
You have walkthrough issues. Walkthrough issues are actually a big thing.
Right now, more so, you think?
I think it goes in ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
So that's what I've noticed about real estate. So in general, like all of a sudden I'll have 5 properties that all have appraisal issues. And then you'll see that trend for a couple weeks and then that stops. And then you'll have a trend where like every sewer scope has an issue.
Oh,
And then you'll have a couple weeks period where there's tons of walkthrough issues.
yeah.
So it comes in these cycles. Those things, like with a walkthrough that you do right before the actual closing,
Right.
you're preparing your seller of all the things that need to be done.
Yep.
Right? Like you were
The
having them-
checklist.
yeah, you give them a checklist.
Yep.
It has to be broom swept. You have to have your stuff out of the property.
Yeah. Well, my big thing is leave it how you want to find it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're okay going to a disaster, I mean, that's not cool.
Yeah, and those are the things that we can't necessarily plan in advance. So
No.
you walk into my office and you say, "Hey, Amanda,"
Yeah, at closing.
at closing,
Last
same day.
minute.
"Hey, Amanda, can I talk to you real quick?" And you're like, "The XYZ just happened." And so we just have to think on the fly
Yeah.
and figure out how to resolve it.
Oh, I'm never that last minute. I'm texting you in the middle
Okay,
of the
you
moment
are
when stuff
texting
is
me.
kicking off.
You are texting me, that's true.
Just to
As long as you're prepared.
right.
Because not because you're not prepared, but like you might not know till the last minute either.
Right. And I try to get stuff ahead of it,
Mm-hmm.
if at all possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why might a state why would they require an attorney's involvement?
So
Has Illinois ever done that?
So there's no requirement, but an attorney needs to prepare the deed.
Okay.
And so there are instances where a seller chooses not to use an attorney,
Mhm.
and then document preparation, that's at least what my office calls it, can be performed.
What's a deed, by the way?
A deed is you're going to put definitions up in this podcast, aren't you?
Probably.
That would be cool. What
Yeah.
is a deed? And this says deed right here.
It'll happen.
with me talking.
It'll be a clip.
With me talking about it. You'll be like, Deed. We should both point at something.
Like bubbles.
Yes.
A bubble over our head.
We should point.
We can do it.
We'll be like, wait, where's deed gonna go? Deed. What is a deed? Is the legal document that conveys the seller's interest to the buyer at closing. It
Okay.
gets recorded.
All right.
And so my office, I have a law firm, plus I also own a title company.
Oh, wait a minute. You own your own title company too?
I do.
Boss lady.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of
She's
you.
like my biggest supporter.
I love it.
Thank you. But so what we'll do is, I can't force the seller to have an attorney. Of course, I would advise you to have an attorney, but we will prepare the documents needed for closing.
Mm-hmm.
My experience has been with my company and other companies, it's very similar in cost to having an attorney.
Yeah.
And so most of the time, once I talk to a seller and they're like, wait, it's $100 less, that's it? And I'm like, yeah, for $100 more, you get all my legal knowledge.
All the services.
All the services.
Yeah.
But it is possible. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Some places, which I think you've experienced, will say, we don't use attorneys here. You know those counties.
OMG. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always like, I don't like this.
And the thing that I've always said to people is, just because someone it's notorious that they don't do it, doesn't mean you have to follow that rule.
Yeah.
So those counties surrounding McLean County that say we don't use attorneys,
Yeah.
the buyer and seller always can use an attorney.
Always.
And they're starting to use them more.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. I mean, I just feel like it's one of the most practical things you can do to safeguard yourself in the middle of this whole big transaction, which is the biggest purchase
Yeah.
you're going to make. I won't say ever, because you might sell your house and move up later.
True.
But it is a huge purchase.
It is.
And having somebody there to guide you through it
Mm-hmm.
and advocate if things come up is just, it's really important for me.
And it's the things that we do, we establish relationships with our clients, long-term relationships with some of them.
Yeah.
I'm not just helping with the inspection, things like that. I'm reviewing, let's say I'm the buyer's attorney. I'm reviewing all the seller's figures that they sent over to make sure that they're paying off the mortgages they should be.
Oh, yeah.
That there are any liens that are on the property, like let's say there's a water lien. They didn't pay their bill, so the city put a water lien. They didn't mow. So somebody got mad and called the city and they mowed and they put a lien on it to make them pay for it.
Yeah.
I'm making sure all that stuff is taken care of closing so the buyer has no liens.
HOA dues.
HOA dues. We're making sure that the tax credit the buyer gets is correct. We're doing all of those things. And I've seen it. I mean, we're all human.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we don't agree with each other's calculations, the two attorneys, but I have seen one instance recently, I think it was like in the last year, where I was representing a buyer in an out-of-county transaction where they said they don't notoriously use attorneys.
Yeah.
And the tax credit they were giving the buyer, they shorted the buyer by, I want to say, like $3,000.
Oh my gosh.
Right. Again, like, it wasn't intentional,
No.
but if I hadn't been involved and that buyer had closed,
They
come
would.
tax time, they would have been $3,000 short. And
Yeah.
that would not be a surprise anybody wants.
No.
So even in that example, the small amount of money that you pay for an attorney fee versus that $3,000,
Yeah. The nasty little surprise.
it just shows
The
you.
after fact.
Absolutely.
Well, what made you buy your own title company?
What made me buy my own title company? Now she's going off script.
I am, because, I mean, you were already doing the real estate thing and representing your people and
Yeah.
loving it. So the office that you worked for,
Mm-hmm.
you actually worked for somebody.
I did.
Tell me a little bit about that, and
Yeah.
then what made you go into purchasing.
I worked for Patrick J. O'Rourke. A lot of people know him because he's still around, but he had
Yes.
been in the real estate world for a very long time.
Yeah.
When I left the divorce world, I started kind of assisting him with stuff because he had got so busy. And so I would cover closings for him.
Yeah.
Eventually, it just worked out that he had an open position. And so I started working for both the title company and law office. And we all know that eventually everyone retires.
Yeah.
And so we knew that he was going to retire eventually.
Yeah.
And so that became the plan, that I would purchase the company. I would have had him stay around for at least another 10 years if I could have. But
Yeah.
so I purchased that in July of 24. Yeah, about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
So the nice thing for me was that we were already, nothing has changed other than the name.
Yeah.
It's the same people.
It was a seamless
It was
transition.
a seamless transition.
Yeah.
I had already been doing all the things for 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just made sense.
What I loved about the whole ordeal was that you already had this relationship, business wise, personal, established with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been in the business for so long that he had so much confidence in you and trust in you.
Why don't
to kind of, I mean, think about it. This is his legacy, and he was passing it on to you. That's a big deal.
Thank you. You're gonna try to make me cry on a podcast.
Not at all.
I
not
appreciate it.
Yes, it was a lot of respect for that.
Thank you. Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a big deal, and it's important to me to continue his legacy. The nice thing is for people who might be listening that know him, like he's still in town.
Yes.
And if I ever take a vacation, he'll be covering for me. So
awesome.
you might.
So you have a backup trusted plan.
I do. My mentor. So
yes.
Who else better to have covered? He might not like that I just said that on a podcast, but
he'll be okay. Maybe he'll even watch it.
Maybe he'll watch it. Maybe I can get him to come do a closing soon with you.
I would like that. So what is the future for you as a real estate attorney? You have somebody coming in now that he's gone and you've moved up. Do you add to your?
Yeah, my long-term goals would be to add a couple of attorneys, offer some more services. I'm very blessed that only doing real estate takes up all my time.
Yeah.
Because I handle not only residential transactions, but I also do commercial transactions.
Right.
I also do farm grounds, like agriculture. And so I am blessed that having my practice area solely be transactional real estate takes up all my time. Eventually, I'd like to add other services because, as you know, things go hand in hand with real estate. And then people are like, oh, I should update my will. I should do this.
Yeah.
And so the eventual goal will be to add some more attorneys who then can add those services.
I love that.
So that we can kind of provide that hand in hand.
I think that is incredibly important. I love that.
Unless you want to start, you want to go to law school?
I'm good.
You don't want to go to law school? You could come work with me.
I mean, I love to argue and fight for people. But I think at this point, I don't want to do school again.
I understand that.
I'll leave you to it because you're my go-to.
Thank you.
And I trust you.
I appreciate that.
It's kind of like, I'm not going to fix my broken leg. I'll let someone professional do it.
You'll let somebody professional do it. Me too.
Yeah.
I get it.
Well, is there any other topics or anything that we did not kind of cruise over that you think would be important for the consumer to know? How would they go in the right direction to find a real estate attorney? I mean, you're going to want to use her anyway, 'cause she's the best.
Thank you.
But
how do you find a real estate attorney? So, I mean, I'm a Google girl.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you now know me, everyone who's listening or watching.
Amanda Willette.
Willette Law Firm. There are only, I will be honest with you, that there's a small handful of attorneys in Bloomington Normal that only do real estate.
Nice.
And so, those attorneys you can find through Google, you can find through your agent. We get a lot of our referrals through agents and then through word of mouth.
Yeah.
If you're trying to go outside of Bloomington Normal, you don't know somebody, you could always ask your agent again for referral, but you can always reach out to the Bar Association.
Yeah.
That's always a good resource.
Okay.
So when I have people, an agent will call me and be like, hey, do you know somebody in Missouri, for example? And they name a city. And I'm like, I don't. But if you contact their Bar Association, they have a list of attorneys.
Awesome.
So you can always find somebody. I think it's important that you obviously look at people's reviews.
Yes.
You go with people who are experienced in the area of law that you're doing. So real estate.
Expertise.
Nothing wrong. I mean, all attorneys have their area they focus on.
Yeah.
Could I go do a murder trial right now? No, thank you. No, thank you. But no, could I go do a criminal case? If you got a speeding ticket, could I go with you? Absolutely, I could go with you.
Yeah.
But that's not my bread and butter. That's not my practice area. So I would personally, if I had to do that, get a speeding ticket, which I should now knock on something, knock on wood,
Yeah.
on brick. I would go to an attorney that handles that.
Yes.
So
Specific to that.
yeah, so listen to suggestions from your agent.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to suggestions from people in your actual community,
Mm-hmm.
and look the person up. Give us a call.
Okay.
Ask us questions.
Lots of questions.
Absolutely.
So what I will say I really don't like is that you cannot represent both sides. You are either one side, buyer or seller.
I know.
So, and that's good because I don't do the dual agency thing.
Mhm.
We like to just take care of the one person and have their best interest.
Yeah.
And it's hard to do that if you're trying to work both sides.
Absolutely.
So,
I will not do
if
that.
you're claimed, I have to ask her for a name because I
Yeah.
trust her. And if I can't use her personally myself with my client, I'm going to trust your recommendation.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing is too, is I have a wealth of referrals, as do you.
Yes.
So if somebody's like, hey, I need you to do XYZ legal, can you do this? And I say, I don't do that. Obviously I can, but I don't do that. But here's a list of referrals.
Right.
So it's good to continue these relationships throughout the years too, because you become and you have a network of people that you trust.
Yep. Because I've hit you up a few times for other attorneys for different things,
You
haven't
have.
I?
You
Instead
have.
of Googling.
Well, I'm your Google.
You are. You are. And I trust your judgment. I really want to thank you for joining me on this little podcast journey.
Absolutely. It's so
Trying-
exciting.
I know.
I love what you're doing. Getting information out to people, I think, is important because sometimes people just don't know where to start.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
don't know what you don't know.
You don't.
And I
Mm-mm.
think it's just important if I can try to push information out there, maybe consumers, education, give them the information,
Yes.
and then they can make better decisions when you're better informed.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you.
Well, thank you, Amanda Willette,
Thank you
for joining me today. I
I appre-
appreciate it greatly.
I appreciate you.
And I will have another podcast. I'm going to load these individually, so I won't say who the next guest is, but
It's a secret.
this was the
I like the
legal
secret.
version of real estate, and we'll cover lots more. So maybe we'll do another one if we have more
Yeah,
topics to cover.
absolutely.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thank you.